Well, everyone, it's time for us to go and take a look at the Samsung Galaxy Tab S7 FE and see how these particular tablets hold up in 2025. Now, the main thing I can tell you about these tablets is that in a lot of ways, they're still pretty much, they're still good tablets for the most part, but I don't know if they would necessarily be the first types of tablets that I'd recommend anyone to buy anymore. I think there are some better options out there. We'll take a look at it throughout this whole entire video, but if at any point you want to go through and buy some sort of, tablets that I would recommend buying this year, links will be down in the description below. You can get them from there, and you can help support the channel at the exact same time. Now, starting off with the outside of these particular tablets. When you take a look at the Galaxy Tab S7 FE, this was basically a cheaper model of the Galaxy Tab S7. That's kind of what you'd expect, especially from the naming convention that they kind of had here. So when you're going through and getting these types of AirPods, why do I keep saying AirPods? These tablets, you're definitely getting a set of a tablet that's going to be a little outdated, although it doesn't really seem like the worst or most outdated thing in the world. But keep in mind, these things aren't really going to be giving you the most up-to-date type of experiences as far as I can tell. Now, on the front side of the Tab S7 FE, you're basically going to be able to go through and get a 12.4-inch TFT LCD panel. So keep in mind, that isn't necessarily, the latest and greatest type of panel anymore. It's definitely going to be showing its age here and there, depending on, which way you look at it. And it is kind of missing out on a couple of things that you'd probably expect in a lot of different areas from a lot of different panels. So for one, this type of display, I would say, it's not really going to be competing up that greatly compared to some of the competition. So there's no 120 hertz refresh rate inside of this type of panel. There's not really a great reason of, it's a big size panel with not a lot of bezel around it, but it's not really going to be giving you a great type of experience here anymore. So it's kind of the unfortunate part of it, but I do think it's probably okay, but it isn't really that great of a panel, but it's not terrible either. You are getting a USB Type-C port inside of this tablet, which as always is really nice to get, but you're also getting a micro SD card inside of this tablet as well. So that right there is another really cool thing. I love being able to go through and get a tablet or getting any device that is going to be giving me USB Type-C, and you are going to be getting that here inside of this type of tablet, which again in and of itself is another one of these really nice things to basically be able to get inside of this type of device as well. So personally for me, I love having that type of capability inside of this type of tablet when it comes down to it from that side. Now, on top of that, I do think if you are probably going to go through and get this tablet, the overall build quality of this tablet is not really that bad. You're actually going to be getting a decent type of experience inside of this type of tab. And I do think that is kind of a nice thing going on for this type of tablet as well, because you're going to be able to pick up a tablet like this and get a pretty decent type of experience. It's going to be giving you a good type of layout for the most part. It's going to be looking pretty good. It's going to feel pretty good. And like I said before, I do think that is going to be one of the bigger types of advantages of buying this type of tablet when it comes down to it from that side as well. So personally for me, I think if you're going to go through and pick up a tablet, that would be kind of the bigger type of advantage, at least in this type of situation. But with that being said, I will still say if you're going to go through and pick up some sort of a device, these types of devices still give you really good types of capability, and they would still be good types of tablets for sure. There's not really too much to complain about here from that particular side. So at least in that particular situation, this whole entire tablet all throughout, I think it feels good. I think it looks really good too. There's not really a whole lot to complain about here. And for the most part, if you are about to go through and pick up a tablet, this thing is a pretty decent option from the feeling on the outside. When it comes down to the camera side though, this is where this tablet really starts kind of showing its age a little bit. So this type of tablet is essentially going to be giving you a little bit of an outdated type of camera. This thing is basically giving you an 8 megapixel camera on the back and a 5 megapixel camera on the front. So that right there is already going to be a fairly outdated type of experience from that side from the camera front. So that right there is going to be a pretty outdated type of experience there in almost every single way you can imagine. So it is kind of unfortunate, but that is kind of what's going on here from the camera front, and I wish it wasn't that case, but that is essentially what's going on here inside of the camera side. It is basically going to be a fairly outdated type of camera experience. And it's 1080p on the front, 1080p on the back. I wish it wasn't that case, but that is kind of what's going on here from the camera side. So at least from that particular side, like I said, it's not the biggest deal in the world, but you are definitely going to be getting a camera here that is going to be showing its age, that is not really going to be the best of the best anymore. And it really wasn't the best when it first came out either, because this tablet just came out in like 2021, which was quite a bit of time ago, but it also wasn't that long ago either, depending on how you look at it. So I will tell you, in my personal opinion, this type of device is definitely going to be showing its age, depending on which way you look at it. So at least from that side, that kind of covers it up there as well. Now, on top of that, another very important thing to keep in mind here for any tablet that you're going to go ahead and buy is going to be associated with its software longevity. So with this tablet, you're basically already done kind of getting software support. So this tablet is already kind of done getting software support. It's not going to be getting any more software updates anymore either. So you're going to kind of be done getting software support inside of this type of device. So you're going to have to kind of keep that in mind as well. Because if you are wanting a device that is going to be giving you a longer lasting software support, well, this one isn't really going to be giving you that. It's done. It's kind of been done for a little bit of time now as well. So that is going to be another one of these types of disadvantages, I would say, inside of this type of tablet. So like I said, it isn't the biggest deal in the world, but you are probably going to be running into some types of problems if you're going to go through and pick up a tablet of this type of caliber. So I doubt you want to go and buy a tablet that's already done getting software support, and that is kind of what's going to end up happening if you go through and buy this type of tablet. So like I said, it isn't the biggest deal in the world, but it definitely can be kind of an annoyance depending on who you are, especially in this type of situation. Now, on top of that, I think another really important thing you're going to have to keep in mind here too is that if you are kind of about to go through and pick up a tablet like this, it's probably always best to go through and buy a tablet that's going to be giving you a good type of experience as long as you can go and kind of keep it. And with this type of performance, you're still getting like a decent type of chipset. It's in a, Adreno Qualcomm chipset in some devices. On some other ones, it was an Adreno chipset. Now, with that being said, I will tell you, from what I can tell you, this type of device and this type of capability, it's not really going to be like the best of the best, right? And I would hate for you to go through and kind of, get a tablet like this or get a device like this if it's already kind of going to be showing its age by the time you go and buy it, right? So that's kind of my biggest fear in a way, is like going through and buying these types of tablets and getting devices like this if they're already going to be kind of showing their age. And I would say in some ways that's kind of what's going to end up happening here. So again, it just depends on which way you kind of look at it, but that is kind of the big thing to keep in mind here. Now, with that being said, I'll probably also say that this type of tablet, for the most part, although it's not the worst type of tablet of all time, it still is probably not the first tablet I'd recommend buying. This tablet is definitely going to be showing its age in so many different ways. There are significantly better types of devices and better types of tablets that I would recommend buying rather than this one. So that's just kind of the way I see it. I think if you are about to go through and pick up some sort of a device, this one probably would not be the one I'd recommend buying whatsoever. So like I said, there's significantly better ones to go and buy rather than this one. So I would recommend buying like a Tab S9, a Tab S8. Any of those types of tablets are definitely, I think, going to be giving you a far better experience rather than this one. So at least from that side, that's mostly the way I see it. Now, that's not to say that this type of tablet is like a bad tablet or anything like that, but it just really isn't going to be giving you a great experience anymore. And I do think there's way better options out there for the most part in this day and age. So from that side, that kind of covers it up there as well. If you have any other thoughts or questions, please let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.